Hello, this video is gonna be about reloading rifle calibers, in my case caliber 308 Winchester. I've shot this rounds and these cases with my rifle, and my first step is to put out the primers. I use a Lee decap size and I will show you how it works. I reload all my calibers on a Dillon XL650. And the first step is put in the cases. This is the Lee Universal Decap die. It is just made to put out the primers from the case. Let's start the process. The result of this step is just to get the primer out. I do this step because of cleaning. My next step is cleaning the press. I use a Cyclone rotary tumbler from Lyman and some steel pins and a dishwasher. I put the cases in the barrel. Then the steel pins. Then I add water until the steel pins and the cases are underwater, and then just a little bit of the dishwasher. And then I let the tumbler do his work. Normally I do it about 1 hour. Next step is to separate the cases from the steel pins. It is made with the Lyman turbo media separator, and all you have to do is turn around and here we have the cases and the steel pins are inside. I clean them a bit with water and just shake them to get the water out of the cases. And then I put them in the dryer for about an hour. Now the cases are dry. The next step will be to resize the cases. I do this with a full length die, and important is that the case will fit back in your rifle, and you shouldn't resize the case too much so you can use it a longer time. If you have bottleneck cases like 308 Winchester, it is very important that you lubricate the case. Therefore I use the original Dillon case lubrication, and what is really important is to shake the bottle before you lubricate the cases. The simplest method for me to lubricate the cases is to put them into a plastic bag, then go in with the bottle, spray the lubrication in. Close the bag and shake it a little bit. After the lubrication, I put them back into the Dillon. Turn it on. And what I do is I wait some minutes to get the alcohol away from the lubrication, and after this time I start with resizing. After the case is resized, you will see that the length of the case could become longer than before. What you see here is a 51.17 millimeters, and what I want to get is 51.1 millimeter. And therefore I use the RCBS Trim Pro with a 3-way cutter. Put in the case. Turn around. What it does is it makes it shorter, and it also gets away. In German it's called the Grat, and the case would now be ready for reload, and I'll check if the length is correct, and you see 51.1 millimeter. Next step is again cleaning, because there is still the lubrication on the cases, so I put it back in the tumbler and clean them again. Same procedure: cases, steel pins, water, and a little bit of the dish cleaner. And now I put it in the tumbler for about half an hour. Once again, separate the case from the steel pins. And the cases go again in the dryer. For about an hour. My next step is to put the new primer in the cases. Looks like that. And you could do this on the Dillon, but I prefer to make it by hand. I think I have about 80 rounds. You shake it a little bit, and every primer is in the right direction. Put the plastic on it. Stick it in. Open the gate. And now we're ready to go. It is very fast with this hand tool, and it makes it a lot easier to load on the Dillon. When you're now ready to reload the case, I've adjusted my Dillon and the powder filler. In this step, the case is filled with powder. Next case is filled with powder. And what I now do is I take the case out and check if it's the right amount of powder. Put the powder in the scale, on the scale. .2 grains, and that's just okay for me. Of course I checked it before, and my Dillon is really precise. What you could do is use a trickler if you make ammunition for competition, and if the weight isn't exact what you want, you could trickle some more powder and get competition ammunition. For my training, I trust my Dillon and I just press the rounds. When you have the right amount of powder, put it back in the case. And now put the case back in the press. Take the bullet, put on the bullet, and the first cartridge is ready. So I told you that I don't trickle my training ammunition, so for me the process is the bullet, and let's go. What I can really recommend is a bench rest seating die, and this die goes like this. This is a mechanism that the projectile, the bullet itself, is straight into the case, and this thing works fantastic. To measure the ogive of my rifle, so how to know which overall length and which ogive I need, I made myself this tool, and you put this in the chamber with a bullet, with a projectile, and you measure how long your ogive should be. And you need this tool, it's called comparator I think, and you check if the cartridge has the right ogive length. In my case 84.05 millimeters. And as I told you, with the bench rest seating die, it is really exact with every cartridge. So that was my video about reloading caliber 308 Winchester. I tried to keep it short, but I hope you got the details. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye bye.